Pilipinas, Duterte pa rin ang tunay na nagmamahal sa atin. Laban niya ay laban natin. Pilipinas, Duterte pa rin.
Isang attorney, ang pangalan niya ay Respicio, ay may isiniwalat tungkol dun sa voting machine na maaring ma-hack pag ito'y nakakonect sa internet the whole day during voting election. So, totoo kaya ito? At ito'y nakakatakot, nakakapangamba para dun sa mga kandidatong alam nating malakas. Lalong-lalo na sa mga PDP laban. Kaya dapat lahat tayo ay magmatiyag at magbantay sa darating na eleksyon. Kasi sa isiniwalat ng attorney na ito ni Respicio, maaring totoo o maaring hindi. Pero kung ito ay totoo, ay ito ay delikado at mahak ang boto ng mga PDP laban. So dapat manmanan natin sa darating na eleksyon, bantayan. Kaya maging alerto tayo. Okay, panoorin natin tong interview niya sa bilyonaryo. Dito niya isinawalat.
Controversy is shaking the integrity of the upcoming elections. Vice Mayoral candidate Attorney Jeryl Harold Respicio of Reina Mercedes Isabela claims that the vote counting machines can be manipulated in a January 2025 vlog. A statement from COMELEC Chairman George Garcia dismisses it as fake news. The poll body retaliated with an alleged violation of the cybercrime law, a disqualification case, and possible disbarment case that threatens not only the candidacy of Respicio, but also his professional career as a CPA lawyer. Is this an expose on election vulnerabilities or a dangerous case of misinformation? Live at the BNC studio is the Vice Mayoral candidate of Reina Mercedes Isabela, Attorney Jeryl Harold Respicio. Good morning, Attorney Harold.
Good morning, Attorney Karen. You're so pretty in person.
Aba, bait naman. Well, you're so lively. Okay, let's start first. Who is Attorney Harold Respicio?
All right, Attorney Harold Respicio is an IT expert and a CPA lawyer. So I took my accountancy sa LaSalle and pagiging abogado sa Ateneo Law. And trained ako bilang isang IT auditor sa Deloitte Philippines. Ang Deloitte ang isa sa mga nangungunang auditing firm sa buong mundo.
Okay, so that's where you got your IT expertise.
Yes, and self-study as well. Because it's my hobby too. I do programming, I do also hobby hacking, and all those stuff.
Hobby hacking? May ganun pala. No, so you do data programming?
Yep, data programming, programming in general, making applications. I can do apps sa iyong cellphone. I can do apps sa browser, sa internet, and sa mga computers.
Okay, what programming language do you normally use?
Like, I do Node.js kapag sa server, if you've heard about that. Pero sa front end naman, I do browser JavaScript din. Pero
Java, I've heard of Java,
yes.
Yeah.
Pero kapag cross-platforms, kasama ng browser sa iOS at saka sa Android, gagamitin mo yung Flutter na developed by Google.
Okay, in self-study, ang galing. Because I did statistics before that I learned programming languages, like more for data, and then R. There's also Python, but I don't use so much Python. Pero it's my first time to see na self-study.
Yes.
And so, how does this relate to becoming an IT expert that also can detect any irregularities in the election system?
Siyempre, Attorney Karen, kapag gumagawa ka ng isang application, parati mong iisipin, meron bang maghahack sa application ko, hindi ba?
Okay.
So, kaya kapag nag-uusap tayo about computer systems, katulad ng automated counting machine, ang unang concern dapat ng gumagawa ng program na yon ay paano ba ito mahack? At ang pinakamadaling paraan para ma-hack ang isang bagay ay kapag connected siya sa internet. At pwede mong i-assume na corrupted yung source code ng counting machines at connected sa internet, posible na ma-hack. Kaya maraming mga companies sa buong mundo na kapag sobrang sensitive yung ginagawa nilang mga transactions sa kanilang mga computer systems, katulad ng mga natural gas pipelines, ginagawa nilang offline lahat ng mga computer systems nila at i-connect lang nila online iyon kapag nagpapalitan na sila ng data. Pero in all other times, i-offline nila yon. By the way, napaka-basic na best practice ito sa lahat ng sensitive computer systems. Kaya ang simple lang ng suggestion ko kay Commissioner Chairman George Garcia, bakit hindi mo i-offline muna yung automated counting machines habang hindi pa niya kailangang mag-connect sa internet para hindi siya ma-hack?
Okay, well, I think the COMELEC already answered this and they said that offline naman siya.
That is not true. COMELEC Chairman, nagtanong ako sa mga COMELEC officials noong nagdemo sila sa bayan namin ng Reyna Mercedes Isabela at sabi nila connected siya sa internet all those times. And kapag titignan mo actually yung rules na inilabas ng COMELEC noong December 2024, Annex B ng COMELEC Resolution 11098, basahin mo lahat doon, yun ang nagsasabi kung paano mo i-operate yung counting machines on election day. Mababasa mo doon, walang binabanggit na dapat nakadisconnect yung counting machines sa internet at saka mo lang siya i-connect kapag magsisend na siya ng data sa servers ng COMELEC. At pwede mong i-assume na connected siya on the whole day kasi before that, merong days before that na tinatawag nila na dry run or ito-testing or ito-troubleshoot. And dun sa troubleshooting na yun, i-connect mo na kaagad yung internet at titignan mo kung connected siya sa internet. Kapag successful yung troubleshooting na yun, hindi mo na siya gagawin.
Okay.
And pagdating sa election day, i-on mo na lang. So walang explicit na instruction na dapat i-disconnect mo and then i-connect mo na lang kapag magsasend ng data. Yun ang sinasabi ko kasi ang implicit doon na connected siya sa internet the whole day. Therefore, kapag hindi ka naging explicit sa rule na dapat i-disconnect mo na siya at i-disconnect mo na lang at i-connect mo lang siya at the right time, connected siya the whole day. So, kailangan liwanagin ng COMELEC yun. Mas maganda, siguro, Attorney Karen. Instead na sabihin ng COMELEC na hindi naman siya connected sa internet, COMELEC,
Make
mas
it
maganda.
explicit in the rules.
Gawin
So
mo
you're
malinaw sa
mentioning
rules.
this Annex B, and you're saying that there, it's not clear that it is disconnected. Meaning, you're basing your criticism on what is written in the rules. But in terms of how it really operates, did you clarify this with COMELEC?
I did clarify that. Sa isang COMELEC official sa bayan ng Reyna Mercedes Isabela on their demo day, I asked him, are there any provisions in the rules na nagsasabi na nakadisconnect siya sa internet? Sabi niya, hindi. Connected ba siya, therefore, sa internet on election day? Sabi niya, oo. In the last elections, connected ba siya sa internet? Sabi niya, yes, sir. Patay tayo dyan, sabi ko.
Okay. And let's go back because at the start, we wanted to get to know you better, but you went right away to saying that you're an IT expert and that is why you found these, what you claim to be loopholes or gaps in the integrity of the elections. But let's go to your background. So you are a product, as you said, of LaSalle.
Yes.
Is that where you took your accounting degree?
Yep, DLSU.
And then law from Ateneo. But when we watch your vlog, magaling kang magsalita. Actually, when I saw you nga, you not only speak as a lawyer, but you know, you're very relatable to everyone. Yung kaya mong magsalita na pangmasa rin. How did you get that training? Is it from your undergrad, law school, or ito ba, lumaki ka ba sa Isabela and this is how, what's the background of your training?
Tama ka, Attorney Karen. Isa akong probinsyano. Nag-aaral ako sa probinsya ng Isabela hanggang high school. Batang Kalabaw ito, Attorney Karen.
Like Kalabaw. Pati yung tapa nyo, masarap.
Kaya pagpunta ko ng LaSalle at saka Ateneo, puro konyo yung mga tao doon. Pero nag-adjust naman tayo ng konti. Pero sa puso ko at sa pag-iisip, isa talaga akong probinsyano. Hindi nga nawawala yung kaitiman ko, Attorney Karen.
Di ba, pareho pala tayo Ilocano, no?
Yeah, when manang.
Oo, GI. So, paano ka naman napunta sa politics? So kanina you mentioned you also went to Deloitte and this is where you did your IT training.
Yes.
But Deloitte is an accounting firm,
Yep.
right? So paano naman naging at the level of, as you said, you can even create apps. Is this part of their training or to what extent did you learn on your own or did you get additional training for your IT expertise?
Actually, kapag number one kang auditing firm sa buong mundo, dapat meron kang department para sa IT audit. Kasi lahat ng financial systems natin ngayon ay information systems na. Kaya dapat marunong ka sa IT.
But wouldn't they have IT experts for that?
They have IT auditor. Actually, kapag isa kang CPA, pwede kang mamili ng specialization, maging IT auditor. And dapat mas magaling ka nga sa isang ordinaryong IT personnel. Kasi dapat marunong kang intindihin paano mag-code yung systems ng networks, databases, and applications. Kaya specialized na training ang kailangan mo para maging isang IT auditor sa isang malaking auditing firm. Much better at mas broad pa dapat yung knowledge mo kaysa sa isang programmer na focus lang sa isang language or focus lang sa server or focus lang sa front end. Bilang IT auditor, dapat alam mo lahat mula sa front end, sa server, pati yung network, databases, yung buong ecosystem para makita mo lahat ng areas at saan pwedeng manggaling yung mga hack. At
so,
yung
were you an IT auditor for Deloitte?
I was an IT auditor.
Okay. How many years were you working at Deloitte?
I worked with Deloitte for 2 years. Actually, nagpapasalamat ako sa Deloitte Philippines dahil sila yung nag-spark ng interest sa akin na maging isang hobbyist sa pag-coding at paggawa ng mga applications at sa mga security. Simula nung nagtrabaho ako noon, hindi na ako huminto sa pagko-code at paggawa ng applications at gumawa ng ano-ano mang bagay para maintindihan ang buong kalagayan ng information systems at sana'y mapansin kung ano man ang na-observe ko pagdating sa mga vulnerabilities na to.
By the time you were in Deloitte, you were already a CPA lawyer, right? That time?
I was a CPA only bago ako maging abogado. Yeah.
So, instead of becoming a full-time IT specialist, why did you decide to go to law? Kasi bihira ang lawyer that does coding.
Yep. After graduating from LaSalle as an accountant, I took the board exam, so I became a CPA. Pumunta ako sa SGV & Company. Nagtrabaho ako doon as a financial auditor naman, hindi IT. And then I started my business after SGV. It's MaidProvider.ph, the #1 maid agency online in the Philippines.
Okay,
Yep.
so this is also, what does your company do?
Yep, we provide domestic employees in the whole Philippines, and we are #1 in that area, MaidProvider.ph.
Maid provider, okay.
Yep.
So walang kinalaman ito sa IT expertise?
Walang kinalaman yun. So I went into business, and then after business, I still went to audit practice. So nagpunta ako sa Deloitte Philippines for 2 years, and again, I thought na mag-explore pa tayo ng mas maraming professions. So I went to Ateneo Law, did very well there, passed the bar exam, and then started my law firm agad-agad after passing the bar exam, and I have taken my oath. And meron kaming law firm ngayon dun sa BGC.
So, ilang years ka ng abogado?
So about 10 years.
10 years na.
Yeah.
You have partners there?
I have lawyer employees.
Okay. So ikaw lang yung partner, nagmamanage ng firm?
Yes.
And what led you to politics eventually? Because now you're running for vice mayor. In 2022, you also ran as congressman.
Yeah.
What made you decide to enter politics?
I think lahat tayong mga Pilipino gusto nating makakita ng pagbabago sa ating bansa, hindi po ba? Lalo na yung mga napakagaling na tao katulad mo, Attorney Karen, at mga matataas na profesional. Iniisip, pagtitignan natin yung gobyerno, siguro meron akong mas magandang may ko-contribute sa ating gobyerno. Kaso nga lang, ang problema is walang paraan para manalo. Pero nung dumating yung social media, kung maalala ninyo, nung nanalo si Duterte noong 2016.
2016,
yep,
yes.
Parang malaking influence ang social media. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, baka ito na yung panahon para yung mga ordinaryong taong katulad ko ay magkaroon ng shot sa politics sa pamamagitan lamang ng paggamit ng social media.
So yun, sumagot na si Chairman Comelec Garcia na fake news daw yung sinabi ni Respecio, Attorney Respecio, na nakakonek sa internet yung voting machine. Pero sino bang nagsasabi ng totoo? So isa lang dapat nang gawin ng Comelec. Gumawa sila ng rules dun sa election rules na dapat ilagay nila doon. Nakalagay doon na dapat hindi nakakonek sa internet yung voting machine. Yun lang ang gagawin ni Chairman Comelec. Di niya kailangang patunayan niya na hindi totoo yung sinabi ni Attorney Respecio. So, gagawin niya, gumawa siya ng rules na hindi dapat nakakonek yung voting machine sa internet para mapatunayan na hindi talaga totoo yung sinasabi ni Attorney. So, tingnan natin sa eleksyon.